Hey everyone, how's it going? Hope your holidays have been good and you've bought your new gym membership with the promise of going several times a week, then not going, and then forgetting you paying £40 a month until the new year. But that aside, here's the real topic. You've probably ascertained what I'm going to be talking about today by the title of this video, and if you didn't, you should probably learn to read. An Overwatch 2 wishlist for the new year of 2023. This year saw the release of Overwatch 2, 4th of October to be exact, and while at first the reception was incredibly positive, ignoring the monetization in the shop, after a while a few things have started to irk me. The gameplay, hero changes and move from 6v6 to 5v5 have been incredible. However, with the transition to Overwatch 2, a lot of cool mechanics and unique traits have simply been removed. So, without further ado, let me talk you through what I wish Blizzard would bring back to the game of Overwatch 2 in 2023. Firstly, let's start with something that I've seen dozens of Overwatch content creators have been wanting to make a return: end of match cards. Now, if you don't know because you're new to the game, or you simply don't remember, at the end of every match before you got to your rank screen, there was a section that showed a set of cards. What made this so fun to read is that they were unique depending on how well up to 4 people did regardless of their team. This could be something as boring as healing done or damage done, or they could be very hero specific. For instance, you had Ana how many sleep darts she hit, Zarya had high energy kills, which is anything above 60% energy, and Lucio environmental kills. While this did nothing in game, they were so fun to see at the end of the match, especially if you played out of your skin or just made some fantastic crazy plays. Now with the release of the new heroes, there can even be new sets of cards to look out for. For instance, you could have Junker Queen could have how many antis she hits with her rampage, Kiriko could have Shizu cleanses, and Souljon could have railgun kills. And then a nerf. This is something that I desperately want to see returned, especially for the more casual audience, because now you can hype up how well you play during a certain game, and then you can see it on the cards. Oh man, I missed them. Next for the Overwatch 2 wishlist, we have the On Fire mechanic. This was such a cool, fun and simple design. Basically, every action you performed, this could be capturing or contesting the objective, eliminations or kills, or healing, added fire to a little bar below your health. Once the bar was around 80% full, your hero icon on the screen and scoreboard started to have a fire animation. Now while this did nothing in game, it was exciting to see, and plus, once you had enough of the bar filled to be on fire, your character would shout, "I'm on fire!" or something. You can also use it as a way to blame your teammate that is not on fire, make them rethink their life, rage quit, and wonder what you're doing in this universe. Oh wait, no, don't do that. Anywho, I would love to see this returned as it had unique voice lines for each character, and it really showed the size of your... Next on the list, we have medals. While Overwatch 1 didn't have the scoreboard that is currently present in Overwatch 2, which by the way is a fantastic addition to the game, it did show you some useful information by the way of medals. These were either bronze, silver or gold, and only applied to your team. And while you could not see who had the other medals, it was great to see how much damage you were doing, healing done, eliminations, and your objective time. I think placing an actual medal on the scoreboard would be far too much clutter. I mean, there's already so much information on there with ults, healing done, damage mitigated as there is anyway, but if there's a way to possibly change the colour of numbers or a smaller icon to indicate where you are in the team, I think that'll be a very cool feature to add back to the game. Now, while you might be thinking, oh wait, but James, you can just read the numbers to indicate and check who's doing well and who's doing bad. Yeah, but we play computer games. There is no chance any of us can actually read, let alone numbers that are over 3 digits. So I think a colour indication, like we're all 5 years old, would be far easier to understand. Now, this next one on my wish list is quite large, but I need you guys to bear with me for a short period of time, okay? So what I'm talking about now is your client-side rank and how they can make changes to top 500. This is something I'm sure you've heard content creators, who are far larger than me, I might add, talk about. Why is there no rank in the game? I would love for them to return to the game. I understand that the reason they removed the rank was to lower toxicity and relieve pressure in the game, but that will always be there. You cannot remove that from any multiplayer game, especially a game that's competitive like Overwatch. If that is an issue that concerns them, how about you make it only visible to you on your own screen and have a setting that can be turned either on or off? I just hate having to put an overlay on my screen, which is still active in the main menu and loading screens. It just looks very cluttery and cheap when you're streaming. But this also leads to my other wish, the change to top 500. Now, I'm not a top 500 player. I'm merely a lowly Masters noob, but for the top 1% who make up the majority of the content creators on YouTube and Twitch, there needs to be a way to display that in-game. The other issue for top 500 players is the fact at the end of every match, or the 7 wins, it does not show your change to your rank unless you go into the main menu, you click on competitive, and then you check the role you were just in. Like, what? How? How could they have not had that implemented? How can you be the top % of the game and not have an active live feed for your rank? It actually blows my mind. It's so important for top 500 players, especially if you're grinding to rank 1, to be able to see who you're playing with. Now, I understand they wanted to remove ranks to lower competitive anxiety for a lot of casual players, but if you're top 500, you are not a casual player. You have been grinding 40, 50, 60 hours a week in this game because you want to be the best. So I don't see why as soon as you hit top 500, from the number 500 to number 1, you can always have an active live feed of your rank. It's fantastic because when you watch some top players go into their lobbies and they say, oh, this is a top 10 game, and you see players who are like 13, 8, 9 on both teams depending on where they are, it's so fun to watch. But I don't think they're ever going to change this. At least they could add a client-side one, so at least it will always be live for you, but they need to change the way 7 wins work for top 500 players, because it's so frustrating that they cannot check when they're going up or down, especially if they're grinding for number 1 position. If you're number 2 and you think, oh, I don't know how many wins I need, is this going to be the win? Is this going to be the win? At least let them see how many they're going to need, or show them live that they've changed to the number 1 position. Now, the last part of this section actually is about the 7 wins, 20 losses. It's too much. It's too much. It is just a ridiculous number to do. 7 wins might not sound like a lot, but if you're just above 50%, that's still possibly 12, 13 games you have to play before you see a rank change. You could always drop it to 5 wins, 10, maybe 12 losses. I think that would be a much fairer compromise because it takes too long in one session just to see how much you change. If you're working and playing for 8 hours a day, you might get 2 or 3 rank changes, but then you could just stay in the same rank. And if you're top 500, all it will do is once you hit the 7, is just tell you that you've gone from Grandmaster 1 to Grandmaster 1? Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense, Blizzard. Thank you so much for that. I think they need to change this. 5 wins, 10 losses. My mind is set on that. Next we have better reward system in Overwatch 2 comp. Alright, I'm sure you've seen it. You've jumped into your games on comp or quick play and you've seen people with the title Diamond Challenger, Master Challenger, Platinum. No, I think it only starts at Diamond. Either way, Diamond Challenger, Master Challenger, Grandmaster Challenger, Top 500 Challenger, and you think, wow, that's amazing. But then you don't know what they're a challenger for. They could be top 500 in open queue, and then they could be diamond in support, or they could be diamond in support they're playing right now. But actually a top 500 DPS. I mean, come on, a 10-year-old can come up with those names. I wish it would give you your rank. That would be so cool. I don't think it would matter too much if you're Diamond Master or GM. Maybe change the name, because just saying Challenger is incredibly dull. But if you finish rank 49 in support for instance, you could say like, oh wow, they're rank 49 support on their title, which means it shows you what they are, exactly what they are, and you know what they've smashed it at in the last season. As well as changing the actual titles for the top players in the game, I think they should also implement a way to make titles more exciting. Now, they're not hard to get to. Once you've completed the 80 levels of the Battle Pass, you unlock the Premium Battle Pass. Well, I don't think it's called the Premium, it's like an extension of the Battle Pass. But every 15, 20 levels, you get a new title. Now, these, in theory, are quite cool, but anyone can get them if you play the game enough. So they don't actually feel that unique. I mean, I had Nomad, and now I see everyone with Nomad. I see everyone with Cyber Demon. It's not exciting. So, what I was thinking is, why not be able to create your own title? Now, I understand that when I was thinking of this plan, I was concerned because people were going to come up with very insulting and dangerous titles that would definitely lead to people getting upset and being banned from the game. However, this reminded me of a really cool feature. Well, not so much cool as it is interesting. From Generation 3 Pokemon games, there's always a character in the old RSC Fire Red Leaf Green games who you could talk to for a saying, quotation marks, And what they would do is they would give you the option to put in maybe 1 or 2 words. And what you would do, instead of writing the words, you'd have to choose from a pre-selected set of words. This could be anything. This was from food, drink, Pokemon, greetings, things like that. But if you could do that for titles, say you had a maximum of 3 words, maybe 4 words if you're feeling a bit excited, you could then make your own title, and that would make every single person's title unique. I mean, there probably would be some overlap, and I'm sure some people would have things that are similar, but at least it would be your own. And the titles at the moment are just not interesting to make. Granted, there are some really cool ones in the game, like for instance, Mystery Hero has their own one if you complete 500 wins of Mystery Heroes. I'll have to double check that, but it's some outrageous number. And then on the new Olympus event, currently playing, if you get 300 eliminations of certain heroes, you also get a cool title. But they just need to change it to make it more interesting, to make it more unique to players, so the titles seem, well, just more fun. Now, one of the other awards I was thinking about is competitive points. They have been in Overwatch forever, and the only thing you ever get from them is golden guns. But why not add something else to it? Why not add titles or icons or cards to form a new golden item instead of just your gun? That would be amazing. You could have something completely different with your comp points instead of having to wait for 3,000 to get that golden gun for a player you don't use. I mean, I have the golden weapons for all the heroes I use, be it as only like 7 I actually play. So now every time I get enough comp points, I just sort of randomly roll a dice and say, yep, that'll do. I really needed that Symmetra golden laser beam. The next part, and this may be a bit of a stretch, but can we please swap weapons with different skins? Like, I love the Snow Owl Anna's gun, but the skin is just straight terrible. However, I think her sniper skin is amazing, but the gun takes up more space on your screen than the particle effects did in Halloween Iconward. You'd honestly have more luck playing blind with that thing. It would be so cool to mix and match different weapons for different heroes to their different skins. Now, I can't imagine how difficult this would be to implement. I am not a game designer, and if I was, I probably wouldn't be making this video. But it would be such a cool thing to add. Paladins Champions of the Realms does this, and that game barely works, so I feel like Blizzard could definitely implement something like this. Ah, the Battle Pass. What a concept. For a single purchase, you are able to receive skins, voice lines, emotes, victory poses, and more. For a grind, I mean quite a long grind actually. If you've ever played any other free-to-play game, Apex, Fortnite, or Warzone for instance, to name but a few, you would have come across one of these. The idea is you play the game, you receive XP at the end of your match, and this XP levels up your Battle Pass, with every level unlocking a different piece of customization. Now, I get what you're thinking. What would you change to the Battle Pass? Overwatch Battle Pass is incredibly good, and it is. The amount of content you're getting, £10 or whatever the equivalent cost would be for you, dollars, euros, it is insanely good value for money. But if you can't afford it or simply don't want to pay for it, you can still grind on the free pass. However, there is an issue. When Blizzard release a new hero, the only way to get the new hero is on the pass. And while on the premium track, you will instantly unlock the hero, it's at level 45 currently, which I think is just too high. They need to lower that down to maybe 25. I think 30 would be a better compromise. But the problem is, unless you're on the premium track, you do not get bonus XP for playing the matches, which makes the grind to get from the free track level 0 all the way to level 45 for, I guess in this case, Ramatra, so much harder. Now, before I say farewell to everyone, I have to remind you we do have a roadmap for the new year. New heroes and maps, they all rotate every season, mythic skins, which are insanely cool, and what I am most excited for in 2023, the PvE. I'm a massive Borderlands fan, and skill trees are life, so this is a news I am most amped for. Anyway, if you made it into this video this far, I thank you for listening to me rant and talk about my wish list for Overwatch 2 in 2023. If you enjoyed the video, make sure you like, subscribe, and leave a comment. I'd love to hear what you guys think should be added to the game in the new year. And just a reminder, I stream every weekday at Just James AU, and I'd love to see you check out my other content. Peace!